I like it. Midday class. When the cat is away, the mice, the mice will play. Dip. Well, I got DAP or dip. Well, see if I can check out. I think I'm able to see who's sharing. Remember, sharing is caring. Sharing is caring. This is in the context of our kids. Remember, our program is potential, teaching kids to think before they do. But here's the question: parents, grandparents, teachers, social workers, counselors, aunties, and uncles. Here's the question: think about what as humans we do before we think. We do. The thinking that I'm referring to is more on autopilot, subconsciously. That's where that impulsivity comes from. That's where that impulsivity comes from. And in this case, it equates to a decision that is quote unquote bad, which I call a counterproductive decision, because counterproductive decisions subtract from the momentum that we have when we set goals. Preteen, teen, young adult, or adult. The question is, think about what? I heard a great man speak on this topic, and his remarks was thinking is more important than doing. It is, because we produce from what we think. And my question to you is, who or what are we most conscious of, and who or what our children most conscious of? Midday class. When the cat is away, the mice will play. DAP or dip? This conversation was going to be, I got until 150. I got until 150. I can't see any interactions, but it's my hope that you are sharing this and that you are taking notes and listening, because too many times we've been indoctrinated by the institution called school. When I say indoctrinated, what I'm referring to is the situations that demotivated us from wanting to be there. We walk across the stage, it feels as though we have graduated from prison. That mentality gets in the way of education. We're used to being educated in an entertainment fashion, which is called edutainment, my people. We are being educated knowingly and unknowingly. We are being educated consciously and unconsciously through the venue of entertainment. But that is not my focus and focal point for this midday class. But I will share this last piece with you. There's three industries that have major influence on our daily life, and that's music. Yes, sir, that's music. That's entertainment, whether it be movies, whatever type of movie it is, and sports. Sports does carry a facet of music and entertainment. Those three industries are very influential in our society from a Western culture standpoint. Hence, we pay big bucks for those three venues. Midday class, when the cat is away, the mice will play. This is education, this is not school. I say that because parents, as you're watching this, grandparents, as you're watching this, start having these conversations with your young ones. The younger, the better, because we don't want to, ideally, we don't want them to experience this. And I'll tell you why long term, because this impacts them in various areas of life. I'm going to read something that I wrote in September 16th, 2018. I was 38 years young. And the hashtag was integrity. The first title was When the Cat is Away, the Mice Will Play. And I will read. Translation. Without supervision, our kids and students will do what they want to do. If we are not present, or our kids will behave badly when the authority figures they are most familiar with is not present. This is in the setting of a substitute teacher setting. I've been in that position before. Many times it's a relief for students. These are our kids I'm speaking of. It's a relief for our students. It's a free day. People had a tendency to sit in their unassigned seat. Well, how do we know? I don't need to see the chart. I know that you're not in your assigned seat. This is heavy. As my brother Miles will say, this is heavy revelation. I know that you are not in your assigned seat because you're distracted by your friend or peer. When I come into a classroom, if I am subbing, I can tell because it's too much activity and not enough productivity. Why does that happen? Because our kids, our students, and humans operate from the outside in instead of the inside out. So the outside in, oh, my teacher not here. Oh, my real teacher or my teacher that I interact with on a daily basis, they not here? Shit. I'm gonna do what I want to do today. But what they don't understand is the consequence of their actions and the habits that are produced as a result of the consequences of their actions. Let's go. Why do students go this route? Why do our kids go this route? There are times where I do identify a student or one of our kids from our specifically Joliet community who is the same person, no matter where they are. I honor those individuals. Those are special people. I believe everybody is special in their own expression. But that type of person or individual is a standout to me. But why does this occur? Answer. I'm gonna give you some time to give me some feedback as to why would my child be in a classroom and act differently when their teacher is not present? Why would they get off task? I want you to put it in the comment section and give me what your feedback is on that question. I'm sure it's various factors. I give you about 20 to 30 seconds to respond, and I'm gonna go through this. This gonna be simple, but yeah, this gonna be profound. And this is a component that is missing in the realm of academics. This is missing because in academics, many times we are preparing our kids or students to excel academically inside the four walls of the building, the institution itself, but we're not equipping them or going into depth to prepare them for what I call LHSA. I'm sorry, LAHS, life after high school. My response to the question as to why would a student or one of our kids go that route is because of motivation. As I read this from September 16th, 2018, we got 20 minutes, so my phone will go off at 1:50 when we done with our midday class. Tap in because this can help you with your kids in your household, especially going into the summer. In addition, it can help us as adults, as professionals, we can begin to understand why there are these limitations placed on us. And these limitations are truly illusions. But if you connect with illusion, it becomes a reality. And many times we'll connect it via our life experience or our five senses: the taste, touch, the smell, the hearing, the seeing. And if you want to add movement, you can add movement to that too. To answer the question, why would our children, our students approach be different in comparison to when it's a substitute teacher versus their real teacher motivation? When our young people are motivated by externals are reward, recognition, or consequence, the likelihood that they will do what they want or behave badly increases. When our young people are primarily motivated by externals, this is a recognition, this is a reward, this is a consequence. The likelihood of them behaving badly, behavior means badly means it's out of alignment with classroom expectation, norms, and rules, and the norms, rules, and expectation of a school. Whether the school is a middle or high school, it increases the likelihood that they will behave badly because I need something to modify my behavior. I need a reward. I need it to be positively highlighted that my behavior is going in the right direction. And that's connected to recognition. But then the consequence. If I look as a young person, preteen or teen, and the consequence of my behavior is not heavy, I'm not fearful of that consequence, my behavior is going to be from a place of selfishness all day, every day. But we're going to combat that very soon. Let's go. So why, when our young people are motivated by externals, the likelihood of what they want to do or behave badly increases? Because when an individual lives solely from a place of external motivation, I'm reading from what I wrote in 2018. So if you see me looking to my left, which is your right, it's all good. Because I want to make sure that this is very clear. I can shoot from the hip, but I want to shoot and elaborate from what was already written for clarity purpose to make sure that we get full comprehension of the midday class. When the mice or when the cat is away, the mice will play DAP or DIP. When an individual lives solely from a place of external motivation, that person does to get. Meaning, his or her motivation for doing what is right is in hope of getting something he or she wants in return for the behavior. That's called transactional. It's a transactional relationship. I do this, I get that. It can be very self-promoting. It can be very self-promoting. And if our kids, our students are going to be impactful and world changers, it is not going to be in the realm of self. You're not going to be able to promote and put self first if our young people, students, are going to manifest the world changers that's been placed inside of them, because it is in them. External motivation is the lowest form of motivation. We understand that our kids, when they're younger and still developing spiritually, mentally, socially, emotionally, financially, we use externals. We do use externals, reward, recognition, or consequence to keep them focused and motivated. However, if this method of motivation remains primary and a constant, then our kids will have issues when they become older. This is realtalk.com. In addition to the midday class. Why? Because they will only follow, and this is one of my pet peeves in my entire livelihood of 40 years of existence on the face of the planet. They will only follow directions when certain authority figures are present, or they will follow directions merely to get what they want, not because they are doing what's right. That's in the context of our young people, preteens or preemies, preteens, I'm sorry, or teens. They will only do what's right because a certain person is there or to get what they want. And if habitual behavior pattern follows them into adulthood, it's going to be problematic. I can give you various examples from my own life and actions and behaviors and lifestyle that I've observed in other people. But this is a time for us to self-reflect on where we are in connection to this statement. Where are we? Do I only listen to certain people? Or when I do something, is it primarily self-promote? Because it look on the surface as I'm doing a great deed. But if it's really to promote self, then we're deceiving ourselves. This is me speaking to adults. We got 18 minutes. We're gonna make it through. We're gonna make it through. So let me see if anybody got any feedback, comments, questions. Then we'll go into the last portion of this midday class. When the cat is away, the mice will play. DAP or dip. Now I'm getting ready to go into the DAP or dip portion, which parents can use. And I don't assume that we have these conversations with our kids. And then for my educators, shout out to you all. Enjoy your break. You tremendously deserve it. Real talk. But I don't assume that our educators is having this conversation with our students because we heavily focus on academics. We sprinkle in some personal development, personal growth and development, professional growth and development here and there. But the major part of what we do is academically based. And also we under the impression that we are equipping the holistic child. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. The holistic child is more compartments and components to a person than what we see. Because normally with us, as far as academics or in the realm of education in that setting, we see the holistic child from a academic, social, and emotional standpoint. So social and emotional behavior and academics. But there is more components to a child and who we are that we should be paying attention to and addressing. All right, you watching this in live time or in my past, which is your present, do me a great favor and type this word. Let's see. Dream. Type the word dream. DREAM. And this is stuff that we teach in Potential. These are interactive education and training elements that we use to help young people think before they do. Once again, the question is think about what? Think about your future. We're thinking about our future. Dream. I love this. It's going to be simplistic, but yet powerful. This is the conversation that can be had. I'm checking my time as I look down on y'all. I'm being professional today. This is a conversation that can be had with parents to young people, grandparents to parents and grandchildren. Coaches can have this conversation. Teachers can have this conversation. We can have this conversation. But we need to have the conversation as early as possible because we don't need to wait until the kids get in a junior or a sophomore in high school. We should begin to have these conversations as soon as they hit the building or as soon as they start talking. and they can comprehend, what a dream is. They have comprehension of what that terms mean. We need to begin to have that conversation. Yeah, and I would challenge us. We need to get away from the question of what do you want to be when you grow up. My question will be, what is your dream? And your dream is what you want your life to look like when you become an adult. Because the what you want to be when you grow up, to me, that question is irrelevant at this point. That was a question that somebody would have asked me when I was young. We can't keep the same traditional methods or methodologies for this youth group. We got to switch it up because with so many options and so many distractions, with some of the apps that they're using, the TikTok, the Instagrams, it's a plethora of distractions, which is vying for their attention to cloud or snatch their identity. Let's go. So the first question, what is your dream? What's a dream? It's a vision. What do you want your life to look like when you're an adult? It's broad, it's general, and listen to their response. The next question is this. Why? Oh man, this is the question. This is the next question. I'm gonna jot this down because it's something that I need to add to. Or this is something I need to add to. Are you inspired or do you aspire? That's the next question. Are you inspired or do you aspire? Whatever your dream is, are you inspired or do you aspire? Mr. Cage, what does inspire mean? First two letters of inspire is IN. Did that dream come from inside of you? Or did you see the outcome of what someone else did that motivated your dream? See, when you inspire to do something, it's not based on externals, money or bag, a car, a house, clothing, a degree, a certification, an award. Inspire has nothing to do with those components. But when you aspire, it does. Are you inspired or do you aspire? Next, why do you, if they saying inspire, what inspires you? Or if they aspire, why do you aspire to achieve that dream? Because even asking the question, are you inspired or do you aspire? That will prompt them to tell you where the motivation is coming from. I'm going to touch on the motivation very quickly as I go into DAP or DIP. What, I got 10 minutes. Let's rock. As young people are going through their academic experience, oftentimes they're only getting exposed to external motivation and internal motivation. External in our language is extrinsic and internal is intrinsic, but they are not being exposed to eternal motivation. Shout out to my pastor and my pastor's pastor for being used to produce these terms. When a person is eternally motivated, it's a purpose-driven move. It's purpose-driven. Me getting into education is eternally driven because it was not something that I wanted to do. I had an encounter. I had an encounter which changed the landscape of my mind because my mind was renewed. And from that aspect, the fuel that is being used to advance forward is there. Because when you go to the gas station, there's about three pumps that you can choose from. I think it's 87, 92, and 93 in some aspects. And I get an example because the quality fuel determines how far you go and your momentum in your travel and your consistency as well. If a young person has a big dream, then it needs to be eternally motivated. DAP, type this for me, DAP or DIP. DAP or DIP. DAP is a dream, aspiration, and a plan. The DIP is dream, inspiration, and a plan. And share these two last statements with you before I go into the last exercise. And so these are the type of exercises that when we go into a middle school or high school that we have when we have a summer mentor program, we take students into these components before we go into the scenario-based learning or whatever the next piece of curriculum associated with potential that we're going to utilize to help them get to the next phase in their decision making and understand how to think before they do. I want to give you this statement. A dream without execution is a wish and or a gamble. But a dream with execution equates to reality. So a dream without execution is a wish or a gamble, but a dream with execution is reality. When the cat is away, the mice will play. DAP or DIP. Lastly, last question for the students. Last question for our kids. Man, Ernest, brother Ernest, what actions are you taking for your dream to become a reality? What actions are you taking, or what action do you need to take for the dream that you told me about that came from you for it to manifest into reality? Midday class, y'all. When the cat is away, the mice will play. I'm going to put a couple of links under this video. One of the links that I'm going to put up is a link that is going to be in association with an appointment that you would like to make. I didn't want to do a summer mentoring program. Well, we're going to see if we can get at least 10 kids involved in that. If you want some more information concerning that, you can put more information in the comment section, or you can you can click on the appointment tab and it'll go to our calendar where you can find an appointment time that's open where we can connect and dialogue. Then I'm also going to put our GoFundMe link in the midst of this conversation itself, so you can contribute to the goal. See, what we had the tendency to do is we're contributing to institutions that are not fully equipping our kids. We need to contribute to those funds. I myself, in a certain period of time, I'm going to choose maybe 3 organizations to contribute to on a monthly basis, monthly contribution. Just as we contribute to our respectful churches, we should be contributing to like causes and organizations and people that have the right heart and are fully equipping our kids for all areas of this life that they are living. Thank you much for this being a part of this midday class. Make sure that you share it with someone. And then once I put the two links under there, if you want to connect further to talk about our possible summer mentor program or mentorship services for your young person or group, click that appointment tab, and also to contribute to potentials goal of providing these services to different schools and organizations in the Will County and Cook County areas, which were open to Cook County. Click that link as well, y'all. Most appreciated. Let's get out of here. I'm gonna see if you got any last questions or anything. But if not, we're gonna shut this thing down. Let's see how that can work for us. And then maybe we'll do another. We'll look at the schedule and see if we can do another midday class. But this was more of inspired piece. I didn't schedule to go into this conversation. But this can add to in combat. I would say this will be more of a combat or a tool to go against the regression that our kids experience when they're out of school for the summer. Remember, school and education are different. Though education can occur in the four walls of the building, it's not limited to. It also occurs outside the four walls of the institution if we're willing to sacrifice and take the initiative to get involved in the learning process with our young people. Talk with you soon.